It's time for monthly favorites, and we're going to be diving right in. So I have broken everything down for the month of October into about 3 different categories. So we're going to be looking at inks, like any type of ink that is brand new for this month. We're going to be looking at pens and writing utensils, and also planner supplies. So if that sounds good, let's just dive right in. Hello everyone, how are you? This is Meshi, person behind the line pens. And it's time for monthly favorites, and I'm so excited because even though I might not be showing you something brand new, but I'm going to be showing you a new way that I have started using them. So, and these are like some of my favorite videos to shoot, simply because it allows me to really reflect on the month, but also reflect on what has worked so I can continue to do them, and what is not really working, although we're not really going to dive into too much of that. So if that sounds good, and you ever want to get more of the behind the scenes, I will leave the Instagram handle here where you can follow me. It's Aligned Plans there as well. And if you're brand new here, then consider subscribing and hanging out with me regularly. We chat a couple of times a week on this channel, and we talk about anything and everything minimalist planning and journaling. So if that's your jam, you would probably really like it here. Okay, so let's begin with the first category, which is inks. So I haven't really gone too crazy with purchasing any type of new ink for the month of October, mainly because I was looking for something very specific. And unfortunately, the stores that are like near me, they have been sold out. However, this weekend is going to be the pen show here in Toronto. So I'm hoping that I can actually find the new releases from Ferris Wheel Ink there. That's sort of like my hope. I will just kind of put a picture here on the screen so you can see the 3 new inks that they are releasing. I'm also waiting on a stationery store that is near me to send me a couple of brand new inks, so that will probably make it into November's video. So for this month, the main ones that I've been really actually loving is actually the 3 little sample set that I have bought from Ferris Wheel Press. And I love each of them for different purposes. I really like some of them in my Hobonichi, in my little A6 Hobo, where I use it mainly for journaling. Others, I really love using them actually in my weeks, especially when like I'm filling certain details in. It looks really lovely. So I'm kind of venturing out with the fountain pens a little bit more as to how I'm using them. And that kind of creates a little bit, it invites a bit more creativity as to how that actually shows up in my planner and the purpose that it plays. So I don't know if you feel that way. I haven't really gone down the rabbit hole of actually painting with it, but that might be coming up in 2023. But nevertheless, my favorites have been for the month. It has been Oyster Hour, it has been Goose Poupon, and Moss Park Green. Moss Park Green is like this beautiful light green that doesn't feel, so when you're, and I can show you the comparison side by side between that and I believe it's, yeah, so Spruce Country Post is more of a cool toned green. If you have that was one of their latest releases. Moss Park Green is like literally like moss green, like it's a really beautiful green. So I wanted something a little bit lighter green than Spruce Country Post, because I've been finding that that color tends to show up extremely dark in my planner. So if you like a dark green, then you would probably like Spruce Country Post. Anyway, moving on. Obviously, Oyster Hour is always going to be a favorite. It's like this beautiful light tone beigey brown, which tends to kind of go with pretty much any spread that you have. And I have to say that I have used it both in my A5 cloth and paper planner, as well as in my Hobonichi. And of course, the Tombow River paper colors are slightly, they just show up a little bit differently than they do on white paper. So if you are looking for like a really beautiful ink that would show up really nicely within your Hobonichi, those would be the ones that I would recommend. Let's move on to pens. Now, again, as you know, there is a pen show that is coming up this weekend. It's actually happening tomorrow. So I've been doing my absolute best to not really invest in more pens at the moment, mainly because I really wanted to have the opportunity to just kind of dive headfirst in and see sort of what kind of cool things I can actually find at the pen show. So keep an eye out for that video, because I think I'm going to be taking my camera with me so that I can kind of show you a little bit of backstage footage, if you will, or I will just share anything that I end up hauling there. But I did end up purchasing one fountain pen, and this is from Kaweco Sport. This is their little mini version, and I bought the color mint. Again, I will just show you a close-up. The tip that I have purchased is, I believe, the fine tip. It's the fine tip, and honestly, it writes so beautifully in my Hobonichi planner. I don't really enjoy this in journaling, so in my TN, especially on craft paper, it feels really scratchy, but on Tombow River paper and even in Midori paper, it's fantastic. It's smooth, it glides, you can write small fonts. It's fantastic. And the other pen that I have been using quite excessively is from Ferris Wheel Press, actually. This is the Carousel pen, and I really love this color. I really love this dusty rose color. Again, the tip is also a fine tip on this one as well. I can't really get away from fine tips. They really just do work, and they do a really great job. And again, I've really been enjoying using them both in my Hobonichi planner as well as in my A5 planner. So if you're on the hunt for like a really good quality pens, both of them are fantastic. And let's move on to, let's talk about uni pens. And I believe I've talked about this before. I'm kind of going to mention actually both of them. So the pens that I have been really loving as far as just color coding has actually been some of the Uni 1 pens. So I have about 3 different colors here. This one is more of like a lighter green. This one, I have shown you guys this before. This is called Beige Rose, even though this is more looks like a dusty rose. And then we also have, it's like a darker green, like a super dark green. So I have been using this alongside the Emmet pens that I have for the Uni Emmet pens for color coding. So this is strictly just to kind of mark things down, to really color code like my entire spread, and then it really allows me to not really make a huge mess in both my weeks as well as in my A5. I can kind of keep the spread very clean while color coordinating it. I will show you guys a close-up of one of the inserts that I'm going to mention next, of how these two actually play really nicely together. So let's move on to inserts. Now, as far as inserts are concerned, I have been really holding off on adding anything new as I'm slowly moving out of my A5 planner and moving into a personal size. In a separate video, I will walk you through what I'm going to be moving into, what will be my main planner for 2023. I'm just waiting for a few shipments to arrive so that I can actually give you the update. But what I can tell you is I'm definitely going to be switching up my setup for 2023. And so, but there's certain inserts that I absolutely want to keep around. And one of those inserts is the finance bundle inserts that I picked up back in the day from Rose Paper Tree. Now, specifically within that finance bundle, there was actually one insert that I really cannot live without, and that is the weekly check-in. Now, the weekly check-in ends up being a bi-weekly check-in for me because I can pretty much just write all of our expenses, everything that I have to put towards debt and towards savings. So after I have kind of completed writing everything out on my laptop or on my computer digitally, I can kind of transfer it over on paper and make sure that the two correspond really well. I really love it because it helps me kind of keep track of everything. And it's not just like this huge list. Like I can kind of keep track of income, and also I can track back and see previous weeks of how things have been. And in one page, I can see the full month, which is fantastic. The other thing that I've been really loving is actually the monthly layout that came within the inserts from Cloth and Paper. So these are the vertical inserts that also included a monthly insert. This is sort of a preview for subscribers to show you what is sort of coming up for 2023 as far as like the monthly bundles and the vertical weeklies are concerned. And I have to say, I've been really loving the fact like how the monthly is laid out. It's enough space for me to do any sort of planning for social media. It's been really great for that. I also appreciate the fact that it has all of the different holidays included, which is of course fantastic. I will show you guys again just a close-up of everything. But yeah, it's been really surprising because up to this point, I've been a diehard fan of Rosie Papertree's monthly layouts. And honestly, I'm just not really gravitating towards them for whatever reason at this point. Now, let's talk about a weekly layout. So for social media, that has been obviously my Achilles heel of just finding like the optimal layout and the optimal planner where I can really just hash all of my ideas out. I am back in using the vertical weekly for all social media planning, but what I've been also using alongside that has been making a world of... I have been really struggling with the weekly and the monthly admin because even though it sounds really fantastic in theory, but I have been really struggling with how to kind of work that into my weekly planning sessions, essentially. So I have found finally an optimal way where I can include tasks, admin related tasks from both my clinic, my online business, anything to do with social media, and family. So I can pretty much put it up to like 3 to 4 different categories that I would like to make sure that they are kind of being handled. Again, with the color coordination, it comes in so handy because it allows me to kind of delegate it throughout the whole week rather than just having to do, or having the feeling that I have to do everything all at once in one day. It has been fantastic. And the way that I have been using the weekly admin insert is I add it right into the weekly layout. So once I have my weekly layout in and I finished my planning, then I can kind of refer to the weekly admin and then the two kind of play nicely together. So for the time being, until I do a complete setup and a switch over into my new planner, this has been working and I'm quite happy with it because it's giving me a little bit more mental clarity as I move into each week. And last but not least, this has come as a kind of a surprise. I wanted to talk about this little guy that I have right in front of me. And this is the Traveler's Notebook and Passport in Camel. This is just the cover. The inserts that I have been using, one of the inserts is actually the Hello Cute Things collaboration. This is Eric Cute Things from Japan, and I have to look up the name of this notebook. I cannot remember for the life of me, but it's just a basic little grid notebook and it's fantastic. Basically everything that I need here about my online course that I'm creating is right in here. And the other thing that I added is actually a field notes insert. This is a collaboration that they have with LL Bean. So LL Bean, the company, has a little collab with field notes. The two inserts fit in perfectly. And this is what I'm essentially using as far as hashing out all the details of any social media post, of any videos, video ideas. Primarily, I'm using it mainly for YouTube right now. Creating basically just using it to create both an outline of any videos, creating sort of like a checklist. So essentially it's sort of like a little bullet journal, but it's very specific to video creation only. And especially when I have like multiple different accounts and multiple niches, and I'm creating videos for each of them in multiple platforms, I'm finding it so helpful because then I don't have to worry about decoration. I don't have to really worry about a setup or anything. I can literally just write out the ideas. I can write out a full to-do list, both of what the video is about, what each shot will contain. You know, you get the idea. So this is ideal if you're finding that sometimes for me, like just having a space where I can just write out what the video will be about is not enough. It's not enough for me to just kind of unpack and write the details of that. And up to this point, I've been really finding that I've been struggling with kind of having a space where I can kind of hash out all of the details of each YouTube video. And it's not just for YouTube, it's for Instagram, it's for TikTok. So when you're on multiple social platforms, I find that it's really helpful to kind of keep things organized. And then it also keeps me on track because now I can kind of see what has been filmed, what has been edited, when is that due, and then that together with the admin insert is just chef's kiss. So that has been really saving my sanity for the month of October, and I'm thinking that I'm going to continue on using that. Now, that's basically all I wanted to share with you guys. I think that we pretty much went through everything. That has been a little bit of ink, a little bit of planner, a little bit of insert, a little bit of everything, but I would love to know, now it's your turn. You have to tell me what is the one thing that you absolutely couldn't live without for the month of October that has been just a game changer for you in your planner setup. Comment below, let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. And if you have enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, do all of the things to support the channel. And in the meanwhile, just keep planning, you guys, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye.